Welcome along to a special track talk as we preview the two international races coming up on Sunday at the Singapore Turf Club. We have the $1 million International Group 1 Chris Flyer International Sprint and the $3 million International Group 1 Singapore Airlines International Cup. Couple of great races. The sprint is the fourth leg of the Global Sprint Challenge, so adding a little bit more spice to what is a great day and night of racing there at the Singapore Turf Club. First race for the entire program will be at 3 p.m. The two big races, 7:50 for the Chris Flyer and 8:40 for the Singapore Airlines International Cup. Matt and Edward joining me to take a look at the two great races. We'll start off with the sprint, obviously, Matt. Really good lineup and great to have the defending champion Lucky 9 back in Singapore.
Yeah, we're blessed, aren't we, to have Military Attack and also this horse Lucky 9 both defending their crowns here in the SIA Cup and also the Chris Flyer. Lucky 9's come up trumps with a barrier draw, and when he has won international Group 1s, it's been from good barrier draws. We saw that last year in Singapore, and when he won the Hong Kong Sprint a couple of years ago, he drew a very favourable gate as well. So he's come up trumps. There was only two barriers left when Sterling City and Lucky 9 both had yet to be drawn. Sterling City, as history shows, drew gate number 10, which may lead to the downfall of that horse. Time will tell, but Lucky 9's come up trumps. And speaking of the barrier draw, the other big winner I thought was Zach Spirit. Drawn perfectly there for Alan Munro, gate number 3. And really, we've got a realistic winning hope. It's a good field because we've got the defending champion, we've got the Golden Shaheen winner there in Sterling City, and a very good live wire local hope in Zach Spirit. And let's not forget Emperor Max, who's been chasing so hard behind Zach Spirit, and he's drawn a very good gate this time in gate number 5 for Emperor Max. So he's a good hope as well. Good field this year's edition of the Chris Flyer.
Edward, the running of the Cup, Matt mentioned we've got the defending champion Military Attack back, but the beauty of a 2,000 metre international race is the diversity, where these horses are coming through. We've got form through the USA, we've got France, we've got Dubai, we've got Europe. It's a very, very good lineup again.
It makes it really tough to do the form for the race because you're comparing form lines from all over the world. It's lucky that international racing, we see horses travelling so much, so some of them have competed against each other in Dubai and the like, which makes it a bit easier. But super race and Military Attack, I thought his last run in Hong Kong was terrific, and before that his Dubai campaign, I think it's better to forget it because he probably didn't handle the Tapeta and he didn't have a great run of them in the straight, but he was emphatic in winning the race last year. He's in great form at the moment. It would be terrific to see Joe Moreira win this race in a place which really propelled him onto the world stage. Really like the European form of Smoking Sun. He's going to run a great race, and if he runs up to his Hong Kong performance, Tokahiro from Japan is a great chance as well. So I think Military Attack will win, and he deserves to be the favourite, but there's going to be so many good chances in behind him.
Some very good riders going around too in the two international races as we take a look at the card for the Chris Flyer International Sprint. It's worth $1 million. It is the fourth leg of the Global Sprint Challenge, so that's interesting in its own right with Sterling City. If it was successful, it would be due for $1 million bonus if it went to Royal Ascot, having won in Dubai already. So it is an interesting race. There's a lot of different things to consider when we have a look at the field here. A field of 10, good compact field, I think. We've got no horse in there that doesn't deserve a spot in the Chris Flyer International Sprint, so it's a tremendous race, and certainly Lucky 9 and Zach Spirit off that have come up trumps with the barrier draws. And Lucky 9, he'll start the favourite, do you think, Matt?
City. I thought Sterling City was going to, but I think after the barrier draw, I think punters might sort of jump ship and go towards Zach Spirit and also Lucky 9. I think they're the top 3 in the market, unless I'm missing something.
No, I think you're spot on.
But they would be the 3 for mine. So no, I'm not sure Sterling City will be favoured any longer. Here's Lucky 9. He had a jump out there without his blinkers on, Edward, during the week.
Yeah, that's right. So, Craig, you've obviously also been at track work this week, and yourself, Matt, but they haven't really done a heap in track work with Lucky 9, but this was his main that was his main hit out there.
Well, the important thing is they gave him a jump out because he can be tardy in the gates, and they wanted to see if he'd jump without the blinkers. He's got blinkers on here when he wins the Chairman's Sprint prize back in February, but he will be racing without blinkers. But important to note, he didn't have blinkers when he won last year here in Singapore.
Yeah, just being slowly away has put him in some poor positions at times, but this is what he can do when he's had his best, going on to win there, and Sterling City was close up behind him on that occasion. Of course, Sterling City, as we know, has gone on to win the Golden Shaheen. after that. So terrific horse, isn't he? Lucky 9, defending his crown, and he's drawn favourably.
Last year he came here, he'd run, I think it was 7th in the Sprint Cup. This time he ran 2nd to Charles the Great. Numerically, he's in better form this year.
And I thought he was unlucky too in that race, Craig, because he probably got to the front just a little bit early. I thought he was left a sitting shot for a horse like Charles the Great, fresh horse on the scene, to run him down. I don't know off the top of my head what the margin was in that race, but there wasn't a heap between them. So he could have arguably won that race if things had gone a little bit better for him.
And of course, Brett Preble knows him oh so well, and Brett shooting for his 3rd win in the Chris Flyer. So he'll give him a great ride from gate number 3.
He had, was it blood in the trachea last year, or something along those lines, didn't he?
Casper Founds has been on record during the week saying he is an internal bleeder, and coming from Hong Kong, that sort of stuff is made public, in the vets reports and what have you. But so he has a few little issues, but if he's spot on, he's going to be very, very hard to beat.
Yep, no doubt.
Now we've got John Moore back here in Singapore. John's got a great chance, of course, in the Cup, but also a very good chance in the Chris Flyer with Sterling City.
Trainer John Moore, firstly on the Cruise Flyer, not such a great draw for Sterling City.
No, it wasn't. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for him, but one's got to remember that he did win the Shaheen, and on a track that wasn't his exact favourite, and once he extricated himself from behind, he proved that he lived up to expectations. But gate 10, I haven't done the speed figures yet or the speed map. I'll sit down with Joe and we'll go through that, and hopefully there's enough speed inside that he could get across and maybe a little better than midfield. 3 deep with cover wouldn't be too bad. And you've got to remember that grass is his best surface. And from that point of view, I'd still give him a live chance of being able to win the race.
I suppose with a barrier draw, you've got the right man for the moment, Joe Moreira. No one knows Cranji better than him.
Well, that's it. I said to the press earlier on that he knows Cranji like his backyard, and he knows the horses inside him. He does his homework really, really, really well. And from that point of view, I'm sure he's going to find the right place for the horse. And judging from what I saw this morning, I only landed last night, what I saw this morning, he's in the same form that what he was when he was over in Dubai. And considering he's now on the surface he likes, as I said earlier on, he's a live chance at winning.
John Moore with Sterling City. He moved quite well on Thursday morning, but he's pretty short in front. But speaking to some guys in Hong Kong, that's how he works apparently.
It's completely different to Dan XL and Military Attack, who looked like they wanted to tear things apart, and then Sterling City just sort of, just loped along like that. He was, as you say, it was an unusual sort of action, but stock standard for him. Very
good win in Dubai. He never travelled at any stage, but he still was able to win the race. So he won it on raw ability pretty well.
And it was like Craig, once he got out of the clear, that was when he produced his best run, obviously, but the Tapeta didn't seem to be 100% his surface, so I agree it was more class and ability that got him through. And we did see him in that run from Lucky 9 2 starts ago, and he didn't have a heap of luck. He was held up until the last couple of 100 metres, so his last 2 runs have been outstanding.
Well, Medicean Man certainly enjoyed the Tapeta through the Dubai season. He was a big winner on the Tapeta, and he's come along quite well here in Singapore. This guy, he's going along well, and he's got the services of Damien Oliver.
And the thing with him too, just looking from a track work point of view, Craig, he looks like in the few days that he's been here, he's settled in a bit better. When we first saw him at the track earlier this week, he was sweating up quite a bit, but he seems to have acclimatised a lot better now.
Jeremy Gask is his trainer. He's an Aussie. He's been in the UK for about 7 or 8 years, but I think it's a very good move getting Damien Oliver, who rides these sort of tracks very, very well, the tightest circuits.
Yeah, apparently he's coming in to ride him on,
in his
the lead up to the race as well. So he's coming through a very good performance there on that occasion, Medicean Man. He's an 8-year-old. He's been around forever. He's had 51 starts for 11 wins. Just a class act he's been. And, despite his age, he's had a very good year, very good start to the year, having won 2 races already. Look, he's a chance. The Hong Kong horses are going to be exceptionally hard to beat, but nice to see him in good form there with a good 4th in the L-Quals.
Belmont Master was pretty keen in track work throughout the week. Most days he was on the outside fence, and he was getting his head over the outside fence. Thursday morning they just let him go a little bit more, Edward?
Yeah, he seemed like that last couple of 100 metres, it was similar to work than this, but just last couple of 100 metres he went a little bit quicker. You spoke to his track rider, Craig, who sort of said that's the way he works?
Yeah, they said he's very keen. He does finish off his race as well, and of course he's got the benefit of being here last year, Matt.
Well, and he ran a blinder last year. He was slowly away. He does get back, but he does get home very well. And here's a win taken from October last year. He was probably one that, you know, wasn't such a big deal when the barrier draw came out for Belmont Masters. He drew gate number 9. He'll probably get back, and he really ran home well. He passed more than half the field in the home straight. I thought his run was exceptional, Belmont Masters last year. Colm O'Donoghue's going to ride him this year, and based on a good, strong performance there back in October, he should run okay. His recent effort was in the Golden Shaheen, where he finished 8th on that occasion.
Yeah, so there's Belmont Masters. He seems to come here in pretty good form, and as we mentioned, ran a very, very good fast finishing 4th in the race last year. Alvin Tan, well, he's our leading trainer in 2014, and he's done a great job to get 2 horses into the Chris Fly International.
Alvin Tan, I spoke to you before the barrier draw. You said that you wanted to draw somewhere out wide, and you've done that with El Padrino.
Yes, I mean, it's good for El Padrino. But for Captain Obvious, a bit too wide. Expect him like 4, 5, 6, you know. But I'm very happy with El Padrino draw.
We've seen El Padrino in the past. Some of his best performances have been when he's been able to get to the outside and get out wide. So he looks well suited.
Yes, in fact, this barrier I think suit him very well, you know, and he can jump and sit comfortably just behind the runner, and then I hopefully come to the bend, and then he will be just bring the horse out and flying home.
Can he repeat his Merlion Trophy performance, do you think?
Okay, I try to recall, and it's the same I told this David Forrest, and just relax the horse and don't need to get him hard, and he really do that, and then I can recall that he just came from outside and flew home.
The new owner's excited?
Yes, definitely. He's very excited. That's the first time he have a horse in the SIA, you know, and he told me that hope that he will run the place for him, you know, as I hope that we put the finger crossed that he will run well.
Well, he put in one of the performances of the season so far, El Padrino, in the Merlion Trophy. That was on the all-weather. Can he reproduce that sort of thing on the turf?
He's had a few injury problems through his career, and he's one that I think would benefit from a bit of rain. We've seen him produce some big performances on the turf, particularly when there's been a bit of rain around. That Merlion Trophy was a superb performance, and if he did that on this stage, I think he can run top 3.
Captain Obvious looks to be in very good form at the moment. His barrier trial was terrific.
Yeah, his barrier trial was really good. For a horse who's had a long time away from racing, I thought his run on the Merlion was quite good. And speaking to Oscar Chavez through the week, or listening to what he had to say, he was saying that he's actually thinks it might be a blessing in disguise that he missed the Lion City, just to freshen him up a little bit leading into this race.
Now we're going to have a look at our next one, which is Slew of Load, and his track work's been good. Really nice horse, this one. They tried him at 1,600 metres last time, but they've elected to bring him back to the sprint of the Chris Fly.
He's hard to tip off his performance last time, but maybe the 1,200 metres is more suitable, Edward.
I don't warm to him after that last run, and they were talking all along as if he was going to be better over further. He was better. He looked great when he won over 1,400 metres. Great for the connections, and good luck to Pat Short going for his 3rd Chris Fly, but I don't think this is a horse that's going to give him that.
Well, there he is, darting back towards the inside in his victory here back on the 11th. This was over the 1,400 metres. He was in sparkling form. Does get Johnny Power back in the saddle as well, so good to see John recovering from that thumb injury he had a couple of weeks ago, Matt.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he was a bit disappointing last time, wasn't he, over 1,600 metres? So based on his very good performances, it was all going in the right direction with 4 wins in a row. So maybe we dismiss the mile run last time and just go on his very good form prior over 1,400 and 1,200 metres. Yeah,
he's a nice horse, Slew of Low, but he needs to recapture his very best form. One horse that is in stunning form at the moment, our best sprinter at the minute, is Zach Spirit, trained by Cliff Brown.
Trainer Cliff Brown, great result with the barrier draw.
Yeah, very pleasing. Gives him every chance, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, so you sized up some of the opposition. Your reaction after the draw with, say, Sterling City 10, Lucky Nine's drawn a ripper in 2.
Yeah, look, I think both of them would be happy enough. I mean, Sterling City got back in Dubai and made ground and, flew home. So I don't think they'll be overly concerned. And Lucky Nine, I think they'd be very happy as well.
He's had a faultless preparation, your horse, Zach Spirit?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Nothing's sort of gone wrong, which is very unusual in racing. He's done really well, so no, everything's good.
Best of the locals, apart from your horse?
Oh, look, I think Emperor Max is not far behind us. I think he's a really decent horse, and Goalkeeper will be thereabouts. Captain Obvious, El Padrino. There's not much between us, so anything can happen.
Getting a little bit of luck, but he certainly started off the right way with his barrier position, hasn't he?
He has. He makes a good point about Emperor Max. He's never been too far behind him, has he, Emperor Max?
No.
And he's drawn a good barrier this time, so...
Well, that performance in the Kranji Sprint, they've gone the fastest time ever on from a domestic horse, 108.03, and there was that much between them. Zach Burton jumping on to Emperor Max. Not sure he's going to be able to improve it too much, but the blinkers go on. But there's a few little subtle changes there that might just improve him enough to turn the tables.
Yeah, you never know. Gate number 3, you don't know how it's going to pan out. He couldn't have had a better run last time, could he, Munro? Got on the fence and got a run at the top of the straight. So he'll be hoping that history repeats itself, but he might get nestled up. You never know.
One horse, the only horse we haven't spoken about so far is Goalkeeper. They've been saying they're going to try and ride him off the speed. He's led one of these races in the past.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There didn't seem to be too many natural leaders in the race, so even though he might take a seat, I don't think he'll be too far away.
No, I don't think he'll be too far away, but he might not be setting the 23.5 lead time that he did last year. I think his last couple of runs have been very good, and if you're playing your exotics, he's one that I'd probably entertain from that point of view. Okay,
so there's the thoughts on Goalkeeper. That's the Chris Flyer. All we're left with is selections, so let's pop them up and have a look. I'm going to go with Zach Spirit. I think he's drawn to run a big race. So too Lucky 9, Sterling City and Slew of Loads. So 4, 1, 2 and 10 for me.
I'm going with Zach Spirit to beat Lucky 9, Sterling City and Emperor Max. So 4, 1, 2 and 9.
And I'll go for Lucky 9 to make a back-to-back, beating Sterling City, Zach Spirit and Medician Man.
Larry Foley's been out at the track all week along with Tantian Loon. Larry Foley from crunchracing.com goes Lucky 9, Sterling City, Zach Spirit and Emperor Max, and Tantian Loon from the new paper. Lucky 9 from Sterling City, Zach Spirit and Emperor Max in the Chris Flyer International Sprint. Certainly an outstanding race. It's worth $1 million. We step it up even further. $3 million on offer in the Singapore Airlines International Cup. We'll be back to discuss that very soon.